As you all know, I do a lot of feeder fishing these days, mainly because I'm crap at pole fishing, so I can compete a little bit more with feeder. Not that I'm any good at feeder fishing, but I try. So I just want to run you through a couple of the ground baits that I use and tell you when I use them myself. Me to go for ground bait through the winter months for skimmers on places like Southfield. We fish a lot through the winter now for skimmers and just silverfish matches themselves on Allcroft fisheries, which is one of the best carp fisheries in country, but it's got so many silverfish in it, it's untrue, and nobody ever fishes for them through summer months, but we only go in winter when there's not many of them to catch it, because it gets harder. But this is the ground bait that I use for, if I was going to fish Powell, I'd probably put 2 or 3 little balls in like that to start with, of F1, dark. There's 3 in the range of this. There's the dark one, there's a green one, and there's a natural one. I don't know what it is about this one in particular, the F1 dark, but there's something in it what skimmers and silverfish in general like. Most of the mixers, like the other 3 in the range, are all got the same ingredients in, but one's just natural brown colour, one's green and this one's black. I don't know if it has to do something with the dyes or whatever. When this hits the water, there's something in it what the fish like. So if it's good enough for fish to eat, it's good enough for me to use. And a lot more anglers use it, so lots of anglers who come in our shop can't be wrong. So that is me to go for winter ground bait, and I do use it in the spring, like when it's now, as it's just turning to spring into summer, the waters are warming up, but they're not really too warm yet. So what I do is I add the Thatcher's Original. Now that's got more fish meal in it than that one. So what I do is I take a bag of that one with a bag of that, I tip them all into one big bucket, mix it all together, dry, and then I just split it down into 3 bags, and I've got 3 sessions fishing. But my ground bait's already pre-mixed, so I'm not having to mess about on bank, carrying bags with me, which once you open them, ground bait blood spills everywhere, and it gets damp and what have you. So I just mix them all at home, put them in some clear bags, and that's my ground bait sorted for 2 or 3 sessions. Talking of that, one thing I always do is when I go fishing, a lot of the time nowadays is we mix as ground baits the night before, because you don't want them as active when you're bream fishing. So you'll mix your ground bait the night before, as you would if you were fishing, but if you're fishing for bream and that, you don't want it as active because the bream mooch around and they like to come in and pick things off, and they're a bit more wary. As though if you were fishing for roach and lots of small fish, you want to mix your ground bait as you're going to start fishing. You want it really active, so the roach are in it and diving about, and it keeps that, and you keep going in with some dry or sloppy mix depending on how the fish want it. But in general, for bream fishing, we mix it the night before. So I always mix one of my bags up, get it how I want it, push it through a riddle, then I put it back into a carrier bag or whatever you want to put it back into, take all the air out, screw it up and put it in fridge overnight. That way when you get up next morning, I just take it out of fridge, I tip it straight onto my bucket and riddle, just rub it through riddle again, and it might dry out a tiny fraction through the night. So I'll think, I just need to give that a little atomise now, but my ground bait's mixed. But I always carry another one of those bags what I've split it down to with me. I either keep it in car or in my carry-all or somewhere close to me while I'm fishing, just in case I have an accident and my ground bait blows in, my box tips up or my platform leg decides to go, and then you lose all your ground bait, you've no else to fish with. So I always carry a dry mix with me. I can alter my mix what I'm using as well if I wanted to make it drier, or I just put an handful of dry in. Or I've always got then a spare mix with me in case I have any problems. As we go into the summer months, and the bigger fish start to feed, your bigger bream. And if we go carp fishing or method feeder fishing, my to-go mix then is these two. I just mix these 50-50. So same again, take them home, open a bag of that, I open a bag of that, mix them together, dry again, and I'll probably make 3 mixes out of that as well, out of the 2 kilos. But there again, it's the same thing. Mix my ground bait the night before, so when I get to bank, my mix is already done, which saves me time as well while I'm on the bank, and I don't have to carry my drill and my whisk and everything else with me. But I've always got a dry mix of that. So again, if I run out, if I have a good day and catch quite a few fish and I think, oh, I need some more ground bait, I can nip up bank then and start knocking a mix up while I'm fishing. Or as I say, if I have an accident, I've always got something to fall back on.